Right, back in the Ogwyn Valley, at the head of Llyn Ogwyn. We haven't decided yet today which walk we're going to do. We will either do the back of Trefan and the start of Bristly Ridge, or Garn. We haven't decided yet what we're going to do. So, but this point, Llyn Ogwyn, the Idwell Cottage, very much the start of every walk at the Carnador and the Glidderor. So you're between the meeting of both points. Yesterday we did the majority of Carned Llewellyn, Carned Daffyd, which is behind me there. That's actually Penny Olwyn, but if you sweep all the way round, you can't really see it here. The Carnador is very much behind there. Or if I spin round, we've then very much got the Glidderor, which is, you can hear Richie crying, ready to do one of the walks. Trefan, Glidderfor, Glidderfa, and Garn. I'll just spin round because I think it'd be remiss not to get Richie in, because he's absolutely desperate for his walk, aren't you, Richie? Where have you gone?
Behind you.
Where have you gone? Oh, I can't get him in. I'm sure I'll get him in at some point on the walk. When you leave at the rear of the Idwell Cottage Visitor Centre, you're straight onto the Glidderor, which is the section of the Ogwyn Valley that includes mountains like Garn. And if we sweep round the Glidders, Glidderfor, Glidderfa, and then the famous Trefan directly in front of that, which includes Bristly Ridge, which is a grade 1 scramble from the back of Trefan onto the Glidders. Not for the faint-hearted, very, very technical climb, grade 1, but constant source of water here for dogs. There's a brook stream that runs all the way around the back of the visitor centre, and then in about 5 minutes time we will get to Quimidwell, which is a big tarn lake. Right, we've just come up from the back of Idwell Cottage, the visitor centre. You can see the path in front of me there. We've just got to Quimidwell, which is the tarn at the back of the visitor centre, and I have just been reliably informed that we are doing Garn, which is a walk up and over the back there. So for the sake of direction, once you get to Quimidwell, follow the path up to this footbridge. Quimidwell, the tarn on your left, through this gate, and then pretty much just keep following the path to your right. And I've said this before, but the Ogwyn Valley is absolutely stunning. Over there is what's called the Devil's Kitchen, and I don't know if the video picks it up, but there's a path, you can probably just about see it, running along so, at almost a 45-degree angle, and that takes you up over the back of the glidders, Glidder 4, Glidder Fa, and ultimately up onto the top of your Garn.
Richie.
Right, we're just getting to a stage now. I won't call it dangerous, but it's a bit screey. It's a little bit steep. You can just see people coming down there. It's not particularly difficult. It's not a grade 1 scramble or anything, but you've just got to show it a bit of respect, as you should do when you're climbing any mountain, of course. And then you can see the summit, you can see the people on top of your Garn. Nearly at the top. Just one last screey scramble, just to take in the views from near the top of your Garn. Menai Straits, Anglesey. I'm not going to zoom in because the sensor on my phone seems to be playing up, and you'll have already noticed when I do try and zoom in it blurs. But Menai Straits, Anglesey and the Irish Sea beyond. Looking back to Penny Ogwyn, Carned Daffyd, Carned Llewellyn, where we were yesterday, down to Ogwyn, the famous Trefan, Bristly Ridge, up onto the glidders, glider 4, glider fa, and then back to your Garn. And here we are, top of your Garn. Another one of the Welsh heavyweights, one of the 14 3,000 footers. How's that, Richie? Top of your Garn. Snowdon, England and Wales's highest peak. And just over to the left there is the world famous Grib Goch, one of Britain's most difficult ridge walks. I'm not convinced it's the most difficult. I think people in Glencoe would suggest that Anakeeg is more challenging, but nevertheless still very, very tough. And then all the way down there is the town of Llanberis, where you can get the train all the way up the top here to the top of Snowdon, where there is a newly built cafe. Right, we're at the top of your Garn. Rather than going back the way we came, we've decided to turn it into a circular route. So we are going to head over there towards the glidders, glider 4, glider fa. I actually have just been corrected and told it's actually pronounced glider vow, which I have heard before. So my ignorance lets me down. It's not 4 and fa, it's glider vow. So we're going to head down this track here towards that tarn, where Richie can get a well-earned drink, up onto the top, and then down via the Devil's Kitchen back to Quimidwell. Right, top of your Garn. We've dropped down that footpath and we're now at the tarn just before we tackle Glider Vow, and that looks like a good half an hour's, I won't say scrambling, but again loose scree, and just by its very definition very, very steep. Hey Richie. Right, just heading down very much towards the mouth of the Devil's Kitchen. We've been presented with a dry stone wall and it's only a tiny start, it's only 2 small steps. Wait, go first. Go first.
There are bits where it can be a little tricky. We're down and Richie's down. If you've got a dog with small legs or one who's not too nimble, you may have to lift them, but it's only a couple of places.
Right, just heading down very much towards the mouth of the Devil's Kitchen. We've been presented with a dry stone wall and it's only a tiny start, it's only 2 small steps. Right, we're back at the van. We've just finished your Garn and dropping down via the Devil's Kitchen. That has been an absolute fantastic walk. I've been coming up to the Ogwyn Valley for the past 30 years. Liz and I have done your Garn in the past. We did it with Milo a few years ago, but we've never done the Devil's Kitchen. Thoroughly recommend it. As I alluded to during the video, there are parts of the Devil's Kitchen that need respect. It's not terribly difficult, but like all mountains, just make sure you respect them, because you would not want to fall and land on your knees or any other part of your anatomy for that matter. So yeah, absolutely fantastic, and thoroughly recommend it. A lot of people tend to do the Devil's Kitchen first and then drop up onto your Garn and down, doing it clockwise. We've done it the other way around, but whichever way you do it, an absolutely fantastic walk. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the scenery. Myself, Liz and Richie certainly has. So until the next time, we'll bid you a good weekend, and I think, being realistic, our next video will be in the Highlands of Scotland, namely Aviemore. So until then, take care, and we'll speak with you soon.